Check, check, check. Check, check, check. 1 2 1 2. Check, check, check. 1 2. Check, check, check. You good? Check, check, check. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you. We ready? Good morning. My name is Chris Womack, W-O-M-A-C-K. I'm the Chief of Police for the City of Douglasville. Earlier this week, the City of Douglasville experienced a horrible tragedy in our community. Anytime we experience loss of life, it's taken very serious, and we want to try to prevent that. But unfortunately, in this case, we had a 75-year-old resident of Douglasville, Miss Florine Duke, was taken advantage of. She was bound, tied, and she is no longer with us. At this point in this morning's interview, I'm going to be turning it over to Captain Bruce Ferguson, who oversees our joint task force of the Major Crimes Unit between the Douglas County Sheriff's Department as well as the Douglasville Police Department.
Captain Bruce Ferguson, F-E-R-G-U-S-O-N, with the Douglas County Sheriff's Office over the Criminal Investigation Division, and also the Major Case Unit, which is the task force for the Douglasville Police Department. At this time, like Chief said, we have a 75-year-old woman, Ms. Dukes, who was found Monday. She was bound and she was found deceased. At this time, the investigation is early on. We're working leads and following up leads. In this case, as we speak, we cannot relay any of that information to you right now for investigation purposes. It may hurt our case or help our case, but we're not going to release anything like that at this time. Right now, we're still waiting for the autopsy. That autopsy should be conducted at this time by the Georgia Bureau of Investigations at their crime lab.
Can you say anything to the neighbors who are still, they want to get to right now?
We've talked to several neighbors, and we're actually canvassing the neighborhood again right now. The only thing I can tell them that we're still working this case actively, and we're, there's some things we can't talk about because of the investigation part of this, and we just got to keep it quiet. And we're still working some leads and trying to work those leads as we speak.
Have you ruled out family members who tapped in?
We haven't ruled out anybody. I can tell you that. In a case like this, we don't rule out anybody. We don't rule out anyone in this case. That's just part of the nature of any kind of crime. Nobody.
Should neighbors be on more alert since no one has been?
I think that's human nature. So I don't think you can tell them that, but they're already on that kind of alert. So right now we're just dealing with this homicide right now, and we're doing our best, and we're trying to follow leads. But like I said, I can't release any kind of leads that we're giving right now.
In your years of experience, you've seen a lot, and dealing with this particular situation, talking about a 75-year-old woman, obviously difficult to just stomach in dealing with this investigation.
Any case like this is difficult to stomach, but when you have children involved or you have an elderly person involved, it's always more difficult to deal with. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can you speak more to a possible motive, sir? There was some speculation early on about a possible robbery.
I'm not going to give you any information about a motive or anything right now. Like I said, we're still early in the investigation. I don't want to give you any details about any kind of motive right now.
I think you guys were looking for certain vehicles to...
Thank you, Captain
No,
Ferguson.
that's it.
Just one more thing. What time can we expect the autopsy results?
Well, we're hoping the GBI crime lab, as everybody knows, they're short on staff as well. We've got a backlog we're experiencing right now today, but we are in line, and as soon as we can get that information, we'll be glad to share what we're able to that won't hinder our investigation. Now, what I'd like to mention at this point is, between the Douglasville Police Department and the Douglas County Sheriff's Department, we are offering a $5,000 reward that will lead to the arrest and prosecution in this case, so that we can hold who is responsible for this crime, hold them accountable. We want them, and we want them in jail, and we want to protect our community from savages that are out here taking advantage of our citizens in the worst kind of way. We do have a number for you. Our lead investigator is Detective Christine Stewart. Here is a tip line that goes directly into the Sheriff's Department. If you have any information that we could use in this case, we're asking for the community's help, for our citizens to come forward and provide anything. And like I said, we are offering the $5,000 cash reward.
Chief, you've been quoted earlier, the radio reports today saying that there is a possibility that the killer did not mean to kill Ms. Duke. Can you speak on that, sir?
You know, like Captain Ferguson mentioned earlier, we're keeping our eyes open on this. We don't want to go down the wrong trail. We don't know exactly right now how Miss Duke succumbed to her end. You know, we have some things that we're working off of, but we're waiting on that autopsy report, so we've got some definite answers.
So what leads you to think that possibly the killer did not intend to kill her?
That's just one possibility. She was bound. We don't know at this point, without the autopsy, whether she had passed before while they were there, or when she succumbed. So, till we have that autopsy report, we can't say. It will be speculation.
Hey, Chief, and I know you're alluding, obviously, to the autopsy. You got to wait on those results. But you did mention at the top of this conversation that she was bound and taken advantage of. Do you suspect that...
No, when I say taken advantage of, she was simply bound. We're not saying that anything occurred beyond that other than loss of life here.
Can you talk at all about what was taken from her home?
No, we're not going to talk about that at this point. Like I said, we're running hard. We're pouring all of our resources between the city police department and the sheriff's department with the county to try to bring some closure for this family that's hurting with the loss of their mother and grandmother, as well as our community. This is horrific. Anybody that could take advantage of somebody in the condition that this poor lady was in, I assure you would hurt you or I, either one, if given half a chance.
You were talking about some of the, just what a tough year this has been in the county and having to investigate these homicides. Talk a little bit about how unusual the number of cases has been this year.
Yeah, this has been a rough year for our county and our city. In a briefing earlier this morning, we was talking about our 8 cases. We've closed out, fortunately, with some good police work and help of the community. We've closed out 7 of the 8. You know, our society is changing in general. I think in the 25 years I've been doing this, I think people tend to be much more violent. And there's a lot of things going on there, I think, that play into the home life of young people, the lack of support from accountability all the way up to who's raising them. We find so many times that grandparents are now raising kids because they don't have a mother or father to take care of them. So there's a lot of factors playing into this. The music, the games they play, a lot of angry people walking around us today. Our school environment's changed. I know here at Douglas County High School, we're keeping 2 officers there around the clock, and they stay busy, where, you know, I went to the same high school and it was rare to ever see a police officer show up to school.
Captain Ferguson alluded to this, just talking about how difficult it is when anyone is victimized, but especially a 75-year-old. So a lot is changing. The victims are changing now. It seems there's no respect. 75-year-old victims.
Yeah, that's correct. You know, for all of us standing here that use logical thinking and want to put things together, you know, this is one of those puzzles you can't put together in your mind, but because there's no logic involved to it, how somebody could do this, and it's a pitiful situation here. You know, we're seeing our young people are being victimized. We're seeing our elderly people being victimized, and you know, none of us could imagine even doing this to an animal, much less a human being.
Sheriff, do you think this is work of one individual or more than one person at this point?
I would be going out on a limb with so much speculation. You know, I've got my own thoughts, my own hunches, but I'm going to keep those to myself at this point. And like I said, we don't want to get off on a path that we're not prepared to go down. We're keeping all avenues open right now.
Do you expect to have those results as you get in the backlog? Do you expect to have those results later than that?
Yes, I am very hopeful that we can get something later on today.
Will that be a news conference or a press release? How will you
Probably be a press release, depending on what we find from there. I would anticipate it being a press release.
That kind of gives us an idea of whether or not whether we think it was a homicide or whether it was just sort of like she died during the commission of the crime.
I hope that we initially have that information from the autopsy. Thank y'all for your time for coming out today.